Well, good morning. How's it going? 6:10 in the morning on December 31st. Happy New Year's Eve. That's I already said 6:10 in the morning. All right, here in Western Iowa. We're going to start with our meme of the day. We don't have a meme every day, but we have a meme today. I thought this was funny. This is a Midwest forecast for you. 1 to 78 inches of snow possibly expected, maybe. And that's pretty much our forecast. So let's get into it. Oh, the cold air is coming, and you know it is. And the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration issued this yesterday from the Climate Prediction Center. There's a lot of words on here, but basically your 8 to 14 day temperature is very cold temperatures for the eastern 2/3 of the country. Then we have hazardous temperature risk all the way from Texas through Montana eastward, and that goes all the way into central Florida. And then our risk of heavy snow, they've actually included parts of the south here with a slight risk. So, 20-30% chance, but there's a chance. North Texas through northern Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, into western Tennessee. We'll see if that comes to fruition. A much better chance of heavy snow for the Great Lakes, as the lake effect snow is really going to get cranking as this very cold air blows across warmer than average temperatures for this time of year lakes. So it's going to be a fun January, probably the first 3 weeks at least. Out there right now, though, it's still warm, cooler than average, say for the Northwest and most of California, but just barely below average. Although, when you're talking about Idaho and into Wyoming, a little bit more below average. But man, across much of the plains, it's above average this morning, and even the East Coast slightly above average. Those current temperatures, we finally hit freezing this morning here. Winds are howling out of the north. We're not going to be back above freezing in western Iowa. Probably, I don't know when, because the computer models only go out to about the 15th or so, and our temperatures are below freezing the whole next 2.5 weeks. So it's going to be cold, and the lake is going to freeze solid. So if you're an ice fisherman, rejoice. So it is freezing here finally. It was 34 last night or so, 33, and snowing. And so the roads did get slushy. I was out driving around. And the grassy surfaces are covered, but still less than an inch of snow. But it is kind of purty. I'm waiting for the sun to come up to go out and check it out. But look at the warmth in the southeast. Still, we have 50s all the way into Kentucky and southern Indiana. Hazards today, we are less hazardous today. Some fog, Florida, parts of the southeast. We do have our winter storm watches up for the eastern Great Lakes. Again, very heavy snow possible. Some wind going on for parts of the Midwest down into eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, into Virginia as well. A little bit of a winter storm warning, winter weather advisory, West Virginia. And then in the west, winter weather advisories for parts of the Northwest into Wyoming. And look at California. I missed this yesterday. It was on here yesterday too. A freeze warning. San Francisco area, Central Coast. So cold in California with a little bit of wind there to deal with. All right, the next 2 days, precipitation-wise, and there's your heavy snow for the eastern Great Lakes. Some of this will fall as rain in the east. And for the Northwest, it's rain or snow, depending, and could be, again, heavy rain for the Northern California, Southern Oregon coast, maybe 1.5 inches here. But in the mountains, heavy snow for the Oregon Cascades could see a foot and a half. Lighter amounts for most of the mountains for the Northwest, but still, that's where it's snowing. I still have an inch or so for Iowa into eastern Nebraska. That snow is pretty much past for the next 2 days, although we have another chance on Thursday and then another chance this weekend. And then there's your heavy snow in the Great Lakes, and the eastern Great Lakes could see a foot or more, parts of Pennsylvania and New York State. All right, let's take a look into the future, because that's what we do when you're predicting the weather. Kind of a grain of salt here. I mean, this is the 8th of January, which is, carry the one, 9 days away. But so here's how the temperatures could look at 6 a.m. according to the GFS model, which is now colder than the European, by the way. So yeah, mid-20s all the way into central Texas. We have single digits and single digits below for Kansas, Missouri, single digits below here in western Iowa, but single digits the rest of Iowa. And then yeah, there's a 26 below. Is that what that is? Or 20 below for Minot, North Dakota. So the cold air is coming. And the Euro is not as cold, but we still have 20s going all the way into Florida, all the way down towards Houston, 33 there. So cold air is coming. The 8th is just a snapshot. But like I said, for example, here in western Iowa, we're going to have plenty of temperatures below zero, plenty of single digits, and below freezing for highs for the next 2.5 weeks or so, maybe beyond. All right, surface for today. That little low that moved through Nebraska, Iowa last night, now moving into the Midwest and Great Lakes with a mix of rain and snow, depending. Some thunderstorms possible for D.C., Maryland, Delaware, up into Connecticut, New Jersey. Slight risk of some gusty winds, strong enough to be severe, so be on the lookout for that. Maybe some freezing rain up there in northern New England. Some heavy snow, Cascades of Oregon, rain or snow in the west. Tomorrow. So our first cold front is all the way through Florida. This is not the coldest air. It's cool air, though. Again, this is the beginning. We have those north winds right now. The cold front moved through last night, and temperatures dropping during the day today here in Iowa, for example. So cooler air is coming for most of the eastern 2/3 of the country, even today. A little bit of snow for tomorrow. For parts of Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa, could see an inch or two here in western Iowa. The west, heavy snow, Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, rain or snow otherwise. And there you see the heavy lake effect snow off the eastern Great Lakes with some freezing rain possible in northern New England. Heavy snow for the mountains of Virginia, too. Wait, the whole state is mountains of Virginia. Anyway, for the west on Thursday. We're looking at, again, rain or snow, maybe even a little bit of freezing rain, Columbia River Gorge. You see another cold front. This one moving through Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska. This is colder air behind the cool air moving through now. There's your chance of an inch or two of snow here in Iowa. Maybe even heavier snow for parts of Missouri and maybe some ice thrown in. And that'll move into the Midwest and the Great Lakes, and there's your heavy lake effect snow continuing for New York State into Vermont even. A little bit of rain down there in the southeast. All right, let's take a look at the GFS this morning. Here's our low that moved through last night, rain, and then changed to snow, and it did. And that's moving off to the east now. And that's kind of the only player in town going as far as precipitation goes. And you can see the cold air coming in behind it. So here's your cold front that's heading all the way through Texas, all the way through Florida eventually as this low clears. But ahead of it, we got showers and storms. And again, once it gets to the northeast, maybe even some gusty winds that might be strong enough for a severe weather warning or two. Nothing too serious. As we get into tonight, snow back here on the backside, and then showers and storms ahead of it, and another system approaching the Pacific Northwest. As we get into tomorrow, rain and snow northwest, rain and snow northeast. Here are your big thunderstorms possible. As we get into early morning Wednesday now, and we have showers and storms to start the year with some ice maybe up in Maine, some snow back behind, some rain or snow light on the light side for the Pacific Northwest, although some heavy rain for California as we continue through the first day of the year. In the evening, light snow, although heavier along the lakes in New England, and some light snow moving into the Intermountain West and then eventually the Rockies here. As we get into Thursday, this is midnight Monday or Wednesday. This is Thursday morning. 3 a.m. Here's your little system, South Dakota and Nebraska moving into Iowa. And again, it's going to move in pretty quickly. 6 a.m. starts snowing here. And then at 9 a.m., snowing good here. all the way down into Kansas as well. And then by noon, still snowing. And then it moves off. So like Des Moines all the way into Missouri. So yeah, it could be an inch, maybe two, maybe a little bit more for western Iowa on this Thursday system. We've been watching it. It's been on the light side, but each consecutive run, it's been a little more. So we'll see how it plays out in a couple days. Meanwhile, rain and snow for the Pacific Northwest as another storm enters. You see the lake effect snow coming off the lakes. Snow spreading into Illinois, Indiana. As we are now Thursday night. Here's midnight Thursday. Here's Friday morning. Snow into Kentucky. A few flurries around Nashville. Some snow for Ohio, Indiana, West Virginia, eastern half of Kentucky. Kentucky and Tennessee. Some light snow showers up here in the mountains of, North Carolina. Look at this cold air. I mean, it's coming. It's moving into the south as we get into Friday here. Another Pacific Northwest storm with rain or snow. And then as we get Friday midnight, here comes Saturday. We got more showers and storms. We're going to watch this for a chance of some big snows here somewhere in the Midwest and Central Plains as we go. And this is Saturday at noon. This is Saturday afternoon. I'm sorry, this is... That was Saturday night. This is now Saturday night at midnight. Here we go into Sunday. So watch this area here. This is further south than the last runs. So maybe not 6 inches of snow here in western Iowa, but maybe still a couple, 3. But we see a lot of activity here as the cold air is in place for the Central Plains, Northern Plains, Midwest, and our low starts to move into that cold air. Could see snow all the way down towards Amarillo. Much of Kansas getting snow. Some ice in Tulsa, for example, into Arkansas. Some lighter snow for Nebraska moving into Iowa. As again, this storm is now further south on this model than it's been. But ice for Arkansas, it's never fun. Snow into Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri. Heavy snow for Missouri. A little bit of light snow here where I live in western Iowa, although maybe even south of me. So we'll see if this southern solution verifies, because we're already 6 a.m. Monday here, where our official forecast still has a chance of snow Saturday night into Sunday night or Monday. And again, if this comes true, that storm's going to be a little south of us. And Missouri's going to get the snow. And a big mess here in Tennessee, even Nashville, some ice. Thunderstorms across Mississippi as this is midnight Sunday. And then as we get into Monday morning, snow for Tennessee, Kentucky, moving into the Ohio River Valley, Tennessee again, Virginia's, both of them, as that system moves south and kind of fizzles out. You can see the cold air now sinking in behind that low. That's really going to open door for the coldest air. The first surge of coldest air. There's a couple of them. This is Tuesday the 7th, 6 a.m., and you see that light snow moving right into the Texas Panhandle, northeastern New Mexico. The cold air getting all the way into central Texas. And another surge of colder air here. You can see it with those isobars tightening. Another surge behind this. This is getting us almost into Wednesday. So here's Wednesday morning. And looks like southern snow, if this comes true. We're still a long ways out now, so this is grain of salt time. Cold air, yes. Where will it snow exactly? We don't know for sure, but we'll keep watching this trend because this is pretty far south snow. Getting into Midland, Odessa, from Lubbock to Midland, Odessa, southeastern New Mexico as well, Roswell, Carlsbad, Artesia. And then it fizzles out, and then we see snow moving into rarefied areas. I mean, it's not that it never snows here, it's just not every year. And moving towards the Texas Gulf Coast, Houston, maybe a little bit of snow. Wednesday night into Thursday morning, getting all the way down into Harlingen. Will South Padre see snow? That would be crazy. But Brownsville, Harlingen, maybe right along Corpus Christi, even into southern Louisiana if this comes true. So again, we're watching this, and the cold air is going to go very far south. We're pretty sure of that. How far south, we're not positive. But that showed some snow in New Orleans, Biloxi, Mobile, and thunderstorms further south into Florida. And then the cold air sinks all the way into Florida, which is not going to be good for the citrus crop. Just cold Friday morning on the 10th. And so that gives you an idea of what we're up against. Could see some southern snow, could see lots of snow everywhere, almost, and then very cold all the way down into the south. Another batch of snow here for the Midwest as we get into the 12th, perhaps. All right. Again, the further out we get, the less certainty we have, but we're pretty sure cold air is coming, very cold air, and we're pretty sure there's going to be snow. Exactly where and when remains to be seen, but I'm just showing you the trends. So, we can watch it together and see what happens. All right, just reiterating, 8 to 14 day temperatures below average and probably much below average for the eastern 2/3 of the country, hanging into above average on the west coast. And precipitation-wise, for January 7th through the 13th, our best chance of above average precipitation up there in northern plains and into the central plains. Keeping it dry, according to this, for the Mississippi River Valley during that time frame. So we shall see. And we'll keep you posted right here. So thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year. And we'll see you next year right here on the Weather Mic. Have a good one.